Hey friends, welcome to today's video. This is going to be a little bit different to anything you've seen on my YouTube channel or in Playtest Patreon before. I have never filmed a video like this, but when I was thinking about what I needed to do today, I thought this would be a really interesting kind of look into the research process that I go through sometimes. If you're someone that has these great ideas and you want to know how to flesh them out, or you want to know how to build and expand on them, I'm going to go through my process of that today, looking at WHIMSYWEEN this year. So I know it's August, I know it's a little bit too early to be talking about Halloween, and trust me, as someone that doesn't like to celebrate holidays outside of their holiday window, this is a challenge for me, but I do need to kind of get on top of it because next month I'll be chatting through Inktober and starting to get a lot of that pre-filmed for October and everything that that's going to entail. Last year I did WHIMSYWEEN and Inktober simultaneously, and it was a lot. I also did a Halloween video series where it was 1 week full of Halloween videos, Halloween content, I guess you could say. We had story times, Stella and I were face painting, we photographed the cats for their top model photo shoot. So I do want to kind of get a head start on that because I know that I'm going to be super stretched thin towards the end of next month, and I just wanted to elaborate on all the ideas that I've kind of just been like thinking about in the back of my brain for WHIMSYWEEN this year. So also because last year I was focused on Inktober so much and the Halloween videos, I did a Halloween prompts list called WHIMSYWEEN. It was the first one, and I didn't get around to doing a lot of it, and that was kind of upsetting. I did finish October and wished I had have tackled more of that. So this year I want to put a bit more of a focus on that and make sure that we kind of do it. Well, I kind of do it the way that I'm happy to have done it. I don't want to finish October this year and think, oh, I missed my chance again, because Halloween comes around once a year. It's such a quick little season, and not everyone celebrates it, and that's completely fine. If you watched the videos last year, you'll know that Halloween wasn't a big thing for me when I was growing up. It's a very American holiday, and in Australia we didn't really do it. I do have lots of stories from when I grew older and some of the random little stories I had as a kid, but overall this is the time now where I get to experience Halloween for everything I thought it was. And my Target hasn't got its Halloween stuff up yet, so that's why I think it's still a little too early to be talking about it. Typically I will start holidays when Target starts them. So Target is kind of a danger zone for me. Like, all the red flags fly up from about June till the end of the year, because June and July everyone's going back to school and stationery is on sale, so that's a big problem for me. And then we go into Halloween and then chocolate and lollies are on sale, and they've got glitter and face paint and costumes and everything else that apparently I need to have in the moment. And then as soon as that's done, we're at Christmas, and there's no part of Christmas that I don't want to purchase. So Target I should probably stay away from, but because this is the period of my life where I get to really dive into Halloween now, I do just want to take advantage of it and make sure that even with Inktober going on, that I still get to enjoy all the WHIMSYWEEN stuff. So I'll be doing a prompts list like I did last year. It'll be a completely new one. I will also be trying to film extra content. I do want to sketch flicks all the Halloween movies that I didn't get to last year. Sketch flicks actually only happened this year, so I haven't touched on any Halloween or Christmas movies, so I see a very big sketch flicks future for everybody. I really want to sketch flicks The Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, The Addams Family Values, the sequel, yes, I want to do the sequel, and of course Hocus Pocus, which is one of my all-time favorite Halloween movies. And the ideas that I have kind of had for WHIMSYWEEN this year, I kind of threw out a little bit ago and kind of exposed because I'm bad at keeping secrets, but all I really said, because this is all that really keeps popping up around in my head, was I wanted to do a Tim Burton Edward Scissorhands Pastel House fantasy. Those were all my buzzwords, so that's what I'm going to elaborate on today. I'm going to go through Pinterest and Google Images, go through all my journals and books and my box of ephemera, like anything I've got lying around, collect a whole bunch of stuff, strip away my mood board on the wall, the mood board that I've had for the whole of summer, and I'm going to put it up ready for WHIMSYWEEN. The mood board is something that I see every time I walk in and out of the studio, so it does subconsciously influence the aesthetic and the style that I'm going for, even if I don't typically, you know, sit at my journal and look back at it. And sometimes I just pull things straight off there and use for my journaling. It's an ever-changing, ever-evolving kind of working mood board, so that's something that I really want to share with you today, the whole process of getting myself inspired for WHIMSYWEEN. I also think it'll be a good idea because I typically have these ideas that, you know, start as this little thing, and if I don't grab them and put them down on paper or at least try them, sometimes they completely disappear. I know that most people are like that. My window is very short. I've got about a minute or an hour, I don't know. You know, usually if I don't do it the same day that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of gone, and something else will come in. So I want to take the spark of an idea that happened months and months and months ago when I was sitting down watching Family Guy, and they had this random little Nightmare Before Christmas spoof in it, and it kind of inspired me to sit down and sketch Tim Burton-esque creature characters that were all kind of, you know, random mixes of things that I was seeing, which then also inspired me to go and start sketching things from life and collaging them together in my imagination as I saw them. And then that inspired the collage and illustration tutorial, which I put on YouTube, which then kind of flowed me through the rest of the year, and now we teach it in in-person workshops, and it's something that I still really enjoy doing to this day. So it's a bit of a full circle kind of idea, going right back to where that started and elaborating on it in the different tangents that I think, you know, the different directions I think it could take, because usually I'm just first idea, best idea, and go straight through that process. But I do want to really give myself an open opportunity and like broaden the scope of WHIMSYWEEN this year, just because I'm the type of creative that doesn't like to commit to one thing, and that's why I'm kind of struggling with my Inktober ideas that we'll go into next month. But the process of narrowing things down really kind of scares me, because I don't want to commit to any certain one thing. So what I really want to do is hone in on the idea and find the different avenues that I could take. You know, say if one day I just really don't want to do another Pastel House fantasy, I want to do something a little bit different, but all under the same umbrella of WHIMSYWEEN. WHIMSYWEEN, a fun fact, was actually a prompts list that I was working on for the design team that I was on last year, and because I was let go at that period, I decided to keep that idea for myself and elaborate on that and enjoy that for my own content offering. So for me, I really want to kind of own the whole thing this year. I felt like I was a little bit of a push and pull last year between Inktober, and also kind of feeling a little bit guilty that that project was destined for somewhere else. And because I finished October and I thought I didn't really dive into that as much as I wanted to, I don't want to have the same feelings this year. I want to get on top of it, get ahead of it, research the whole thing, give myself like a really solid look at what it could be, and then just dive into it. So I want to take you along for that process. If you want to get involved and leave your comments down below, I would love to hear your ideas. If there's something that jumped out to you that you thought, oh, he should have put that down, or you know, that you'd have a great idea for what WHIMSYWEEN should look like this year, I want you to get involved. This can be collaborative. My WHIMSYWEEN could look very different to your WHIMSYWEEN. In essence, the whole idea is just that I don't do gore and horror very well. I don't do scary, so I went through a period of watching American Horror Story, had nightmares for months. Even as campy as it was, I still found it terrifying. So I can't really see myself focusing in on a scary kind of a Halloween. So WHIMSYWEEN is that very light approach to it, a very airy-fairy, fantastical, you know, we use the ideas and elements of Halloween, so like I hate spiders. I hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them. I have plenty of horror stories relating to spiders, but the idea of a spider, you know, it has 8 legs. There's no reason I couldn't put 8 appendages on, you know, a little Swatch doll, a little fashion figure. So suddenly it becomes a lot more palatable for me, even though I know the idea is kind of kooky and zany enough to be Halloween. So that's what WHIMSYWEEN is for me, but it might be something different for you. And I do want this to be collaborative because this is something that we all get to enjoy together. It will be public. I know I'm posting this video on Patreon, but the whole concept and the prompts list and everything and the posting we'll do in the Facebook group and on Instagram, it will be a public thing. The content will go to YouTube, but the actual hunting and gathering process, I'm only saying that because of the podcast. The whole hunting and gathering process is something that I wanted to share with you in case you have never thought about this before, or you're just curious to see what goes through my head. I know that some of these thought processes are a little crazy and my head works at 1,000,000 miles a minute when I'm excited and I want to just do something. But this will also be a good video for me to look back on should I forget any of the ideas or the tangents that I went on. So please feel free to get involved. If you want to do your own research, do your own research. If you want to make your own WHIMSYWEEN mood board this year, do that. I just kind of get a head start on it. I don't want to finish October this year regretting that I didn't really commit to WHIMSYWEEN. I don't want to miss the small window of opportunity I have to really enjoy Halloween. Oh, and I should mention, I don't actually think I'm going to do a Halloween video series this year. They were some of my favorite videos last year, but they were a lot of a production effort in a time where it was really, really stressful and busy. So I don't want to commit to a Halloween video series. If I do end up doing some of those videos, it will be because I got enough of a head start on Inktober and that's pretty much under control. But even Inktober, it's, you know, the videos I speed through so that they're about 10 minutes long, then they've got a voice over them, you put the music on there. It became much of a system that I worked through. We'll talk about it next month, but either way, it's still a lot of a big project to get Inktober going. So I have some ideas for that I'll share with you in September. And possibly even go through this same process. Maybe not a mood board, but maybe just develop some of the ideas. Who knows, maybe it'll just be a chat, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna get on Google Images, I'm gonna get on Pinterest, I'm gonna pull out my journals, pull out my books, have a look through my ephemera boxes. Anything I can find that I want to put up on the mood board and be inspired by, I think will be a good thing to look for today. We'll just have a fun little day collecting some stuff. Okay, let's go. Okay, so the mood board is empty and I took everything else off the wall because I don't really need all that stuff up there, and I do want to give myself as much space as possible to be inspired. Some of the stuff that I took off might go back up there. For instance, this really screams pastel fantasy to me, so does this, and it's very whimsical. So I might end up putting some of this stuff back up there, but I think it's important to start with a blank slate, a clean page, a fresh start. I don't want anything up there already to inspire where I take anything else. So if I feel like putting that stuff back up there, I will put it back up. If not, there will be plenty of new stuff to look at anyway. One of the things I already know I want to be inspired by is this pastel house fantasy. So I have these handmade modern paints from Target, and I just want to pick out the color palette that I think I'll want and swatch it out for myself. Alright, these are the colors I think I want to use in my palette. I'm not going to restrict myself to them, but when I think of pastels, I'll know I'll have all of these at my disposal. So let's just swatch them out. These are the colors if you are interested in grabbing these from Target. They're the satin finish, which seems more matte to me than satin. They're handmade modern acrylic paint from Target. They're $2 a pop, and this is Shell, Cherry Blossom, Robin's Egg, Sky, Lilac, Creamsicle, and Egg. We've got 2 egg varieties here. This is going to be just kind of my inspiration for if ever I just want a pastel fantasy palette. The shell color here isn't as pastel as I thought it was, but I still think it's going to work, and also the Creamsicle is a little bit more vibrant than I felt was probably necessary for a pastel palette, but I do really love how they all look together, and I'm just going to illustrate some little neighborhood swatch houses on these and put them over on the side to put up on the mood board.
Yeah. I've been trying to take my eyes off you. Oh girl, it ain't easy, just let go of that body.
Okay, I'm in Photoshop. I'm going to open a new document that's the size of a US letter paper, so I can just collect my images on here and print them out. But let's go searching through the internet. See, this is the pastel house fantasy that I'm talking about. See how they're like all suburban houses? They even have the same little cars, little pastel cars that are different colors to their houses. I love that. I think I'm just gonna snatch this image. I placed them all onto this document just so I don't have to waste paper when I'm printing. Oh, do you know what? I might print it on glossy sticker paper, then I can use them afterwards. They might also print the color better. So let me get a new document, because my A4, my sticker paper is A4. Here we go. Love that. Let's go for some quotes. I like this one. Since a lot of what I like to do is illustration, I think that's a good one to have, but I do not need it that big. All the Tim Burton characters all have this kind of darkness around their really large eyes, or, you know, one of the most famous one doesn't even have eyes, it is just the darkness. So I really want to work that in this year with a lot of the faces that I do. So I think Frankenweenie is probably the best one for me. I really like her. I really love her cat too. Let's go for one with Jack and Sally. Oh, I do like these three. I'm gonna copy this one. In fact, I used to have a digi-stamp that had those. Maybe I'll print that out. Let's go to Pinterest. I still don't have a Jack and Sally image that I think I would enjoy putting on my mood board. And I love the tone paper. I think I'm going to replace that other image with this one. I should mention, obviously when you're creating a mood board, you can't use exactly what you're seeing, but it's all about the inspiration. So I know some people would get really anxious to do this, kind of printing out reference photos and stuff, but as long as you're not copying it and trying to pass it off as your own, you're allowed to use inspiration. And to be honest, I don't see much of a difference than going to Pinterest and looking at it every day than just printing it and putting it on my mood board. I know other people will see it differently, but I can't speak for other people. I can only speak for myself. It was one of those things that I kind of had to think about when I started putting my artwork up on the internet. I really like that one. I knew that I couldn't stop people from like downloading it or printing it for their home, but also I didn't really care if they did. If it was inspiring them and they enjoyed it and they just, you know, they weren't trying to sell it in their store, I thought it was fine. I just think if you really spent all your time trying to police that, you would actually have no time left to just create. So I don't tend to worry. If this is something that bothers you though, then, I mean, obviously I would just suggest that you don't do it. And I think one of the most flattering things to see is when people use my work as inspiration. I love to see that. It feels so complimentary, like someone thought it was good enough to sit down and spark something in them. I don't know. Oh, that's really cute. I love the style of that. I want to save that just for the style. Alright, I think we're getting way too into the Jack Skellington here. Maybe I do like it more than I thought I did. Let's search for some Tim Burton characters on here. Pinterest is amazing. Oh, these are all ballpoint sketches. It's really cool. It's not really what I'm looking for, but Tim Burton human shape. I think I'll be fine without that, but that's interesting. I do like the look of the Corpse Bride too. To be honest, I feel like it's just very Tim Burton to have these large circular eyes, very stick figure-like bodies, and just have a certain darkness around the eyes. I really like that. I am going to sketch flicks through some of these, so whatever I miss, I'm sure I'll be fine. Ooh, Catwoman! I forgot that he did that Batman. I need some Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. I'm just gonna type that in because I can't spell Michelle Pfeiffer. Love, love, love. I wonder what would happen if I just typed in Tim Burton Pastel House Fantasy. Oh, there's stuff! It totally came up. Oh, yes. All the hedges. Love that. This is fun. Maybe I'll just go for some more fashion images now. Could probably find some stuff from magazines. I don't want to put anything too obvious up there. What on earth is that? Definitely need that. I don't want to do too many of like the characters because I'm not really trying to do any fan art. I want more like aesthetic, style, color palettes, more stuff like that, and just inspirational images. Like that really does something for me. I mean, it's essentially just a big old cone shape for a dress, but I like that she just got this one arm here. I could see something being held in that. She's got this weird little head wrap thing, which I could see like, you know, drawing, instead of drawing hair, but like drawing some kind of sculptural element on top of her head. It's also an interesting angle. So, you know what, I might just give up on the internet for now, or I should try and fill the page. Let me try and fill the page and then I will give up. Let's do Pastel Vogue. Or let's do Pastel Halloween. Okay, I like that. It's cute. Oh, I like that. Let's do Whimsical Halloween. I love these things. Where have I seen this before? I don't know who does this. Oh, you know who I want to search? The Kevin and Jody, the Disney artists. They do a lot of, they do this Halloween thing in Anaheim. Has a very mid-century feel, which is also very, there it is. Fall Festival and Halloween Parade. Yeah, I love all of this old mid-century aesthetic for Halloween. Yes, yes, yes. This is what I want. Some of this stuff might go on the board and then I'll illustrate it and then replace the stuff with the illustration, because I don't necessarily love the way all of this is. I mean, how could I not take the cat? I'm pretending like I wouldn't take the cat. Of course I'm taking the cat. Need the cat. I'm gonna do a spin on that for Oliver and Bianca. That is frightening to me. Is that not so frightening? There's something that I'm here for it though. Like, I'm here for some of this aesthetic. I love the big orange paper bags for the candy. I'm so American now. Lollies. Lols. This gives me some of the vibes that I want as well. Is it weird that I'm creeped out by it though? I mean, not enough to not use it, but it is creepy to me. I have a magazine though that's full of vintage stuff. Maybe I should crack that out and pull some of that stuff out. I might do that actually. I think anything else mid-century I need to find, I'll probably see if I still have some of that Tim Holtz Halloween ephemera. Let's leave the computer, let's print this off, and then I'll move on to some of the stuff that I have in my boxes, in my journals, anything I can physically pull out of something. Have I ever told you how much I hate working on the computer? I don't know how people do it. Of course, my printer ran out of magenta ink. It's okay, I'm gonna cut these up and these will probably be like a little cheat sheet for me in my sketch planner. I just couldn't bring myself to put this disgusting color on my mood board. It has to be inspiring, right? So I did refill the printer and now I've got these for my mood board. Some of these are a little small, but it's okay. I think it's nice to have varying sizes of things, and I do have a lot of paper stuff I'm about to go through, so it's probably a good thing that they're a little small. Either way, I'm happy with this inspiration that I pulled from the internet. Let's grab some paper stuff and go through that stash. Actually, you know what? I've got some right here at my desk, so let's go through that first. This is supposed to be nearly empty, but just keep adding stuff to it. Right, what have we got? A Christmas Starbucks gift card. That's not going to work for me. Let's just pull it all out. I'll go yes, no, yes, no. Let's see if anything just jumps out. Postcard prints, probably not. I'm not gonna put any stickers up there because I'll just have those. Fashion illustration. I like her, but she's not very Halloween-y. I actually love this part of her face. I'm definitely gonna use this one. Don't be upset that I'm chopping it up. I'm pretty sure I have this scanned, and this was in your collage sheets from the first month of Patreon as well, so no big deal. Love her, very mid-century. I loved all of these. That's probably a little flimsy to put up on my mood board, but that's in your collage sheets as well. These are the friendly furnishings. When I turned all the little furnitures into little creatures, I like that idea, so I'll remember that. There's not much in here that I think I'm going to end up using. I'm actually going to pin these stickers on the board too because I really like how they look. Maybe that'll inspire me to go a little Japanese with it. Oh, she's cute in a bottle. I'll leave the drink me on there. This is the Alice from your collage sheets too, but I like the idea of having little things inside apothecary bottles, so that's an idea for that. I like my typewriter. It has red ink as well as black. Maybe some red typing would be nice. I'm not going to pull that out just yet, but I'll make a little note to myself. Where's that post-it? Yeah, that'll be a good enough reminder for me for that idea. Oh look, like if I just cut these out, then I won't have to have the full image up there. Then I can still remember to pull some of those unicorn motifs. Oh, her! She's definitely going up. What is this junk that I keep in here? Look, I don't need these anymore. I don't think I need any of these tiny bits and pieces. Alright, that's everything I think I want to pull from there. To be honest, I could go through this little box and get rid of a lot of this stuff, or put it straight into my sketch planner, because some of this stuff has been in there for a while, and all those postcards don't need to be in there. But that sounds like a job for another day. Now we've got this beast of a box of ephemera. Let's pull some stuff out of here. Let's see what we can work with. Let's start with the magazine. This is all a bit heavy with the graphics for what I was thinking, but there might be something in here. Yeah, no, unfortunately nothing in there that I wanted to pull today. This looks like some leftover classwork stuff. There is actually something in here that I do want, and it's the little faces. Where are they? Maybe I'm all out of the little ones. These are from the workshops. I wonder if I've got a Halloween collage sheet in here. Seems like I'm out of all the little faces, but I will just steal one of these. And I want all of these characters because these are the ones that inspired that whole collage and illustration. Like, well, these were around that time. And this is what I kind of want to revisit for WHIMSYWEEN. This was all random and loose in there, so what have we got here? Oh, she was the Swatch doll tutorial from last Halloween. I think I was supposed to put all of this stuff in my sketch planner. I think that's why it's all out. I really enjoyed this storybook feel of Easter Swatch Dolls tutorial, but I don't want to put something Easter up for Halloween, so just make a mental note. She was from last Inktober. I like her better than the one that I put in the video. I don't know why I didn't go with this one. I might put her up. Love Cruella. Okay, so there was some stuff in that loose pile. Now I need to find a place to put that. Honest truth, I just threw it in the box. These are very Halloween Tim Burton to me, so I might actually just throw those up on the board. Oh, here's what I'm talking about. I could put this up there, then I'll remember. I think these are all papers that I could use for collage. There might be something in here. At one point in time, all of this was sorted out and it did make sense to me, and then just got out of control again. Can anyone relate? That's a pastel fantasy. There's gonna be so many random things on that board and on that wall. It's gonna look like a crime scene investigation. I just need some red thread to tie it all together. Lots of vintage stuff. Some of the vintage might be a mood, but see, this is all very Halloween to me. Here's what I'm talking about. If I ever needed the extra from Tim Holtz, this is what I needed. I'm feeling this too. I always go to use these and then I get too nervous. And Victor even told me to use them, like make sure I do, but I get so nervous to use them. I know they're there if I do want to do some photo altering. Oh, that was such a good musical. This is a Sticky Pics guide for like the latest and greatest trends in Sticky Pics when we went. This is Pastel Fantasy. I am going to cut this out because I do want to be inspired by this. Sounds crazy, but hey, we're gonna do it. Pastels actually, like pastel colors look really good on craft, so maybe I'll put some of these up there to remind myself to use craft. Oh, there they are, the mini faces. That's what I wanted. I wonder what I did with all that Tim Holtz Halloween ephemera. I used to have a lot of that. I couldn't have used it all. Don't worry, still got more stuff. It's everywhere. I always print out my books and stuff before I get them made, just so I can see what they'll look like in real life. But that means I always have like full books that aren't bound worth of printed papers, which is good. And I do go back and use them, so that's a bonus. These are the originals from the Swatchy Dolls washi tape. I love her. I'm gonna use her. And these are some of the originals from the newest one. Pink, yellow, and blue are my favorite vibes, so she's everything. Who remembers this one? Can't help myself, I need a fashion illustration up there, so I'm going to use this one this time. Oh look, here's the proof of my second book. All the typos. Oh, this is the one I was actually looking for. This is what we did in the workshops. I like the look of those. I don't think I'm going to need anything from my journals, so I'll just get rid of those. Here's the vintage stuff that I wanted. I love a good toffee apple. I love this little figure. I know I'm going a bit more fashion now than I thought I would, but some of the ideas might translate. I think this is based off of an Irving Penn black and white image, and I know it doesn't scream Halloween, but for me, when I look at it, I think, okay, great, big hats are a big space for me to work with some of the Halloween imagery, and also that she's got this tool, like the netting with the little flocked dots all over it. To me, I could put little Halloween motifs on that, so I mean, I probably wouldn't do little spiders. I mean, maybe, instead of little dots. Also, this is giving me very Jack Skellington, you know, he has the bat as the bow, so I could turn this into a bat, and essentially I'm taking all the parts of fashion that I like and making it Halloween. But like I said, I don't want to limit myself, I just want to take everything that I love and have it at my disposal for when I start. I like her. She was from Inktober. This was all the stuff on the wall, so I might still want to put some of it up. I've got another... You know what, I'm going to put that up. I want to put Wednesday Addams up because I love Wednesday. Oh no! Everything just went flying. Someone call my mum. I'll pick that up later. Got some washi tape here. I'm not going to do anything with it just yet, but I do want to pick out some of the ones that I think I might use. Just kind of put them away for a second. I'll take out the Halloween ones too, just for like my planner and stuff. See what we got in here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Here are the washi tapes I've pulled. Let's zoom you in. So I'm going to keep all of those in a little box off to the side, ready to use at Halloween, and I'd also like to point out I am a washi connoisseur, not an addict. Big difference. This is everything I have pulled for the board and the wall. There's probably going to be too much to put just on the board, so I'll decorate the surrounding areas, and I also have to cut up the printout before I put all that stuff up there as well. So I'm gonna get to cutting and then we'll jump you over to the mood board and get to decorating. I don't want her up there anymore. She's out. I'm keeping some of these together because it's gonna be too difficult to find a clip for each single image. And since they all belong up there, they can be together.
But you don't seem sorry. I see a little DM trying to make some plans. Now come on baby, later in the PM, hope that you would understand. I think that if you get to know me, you see I'm way more than nice. I wanna hold you, let me feel you till the morning light. I'm more than just 9 to 5. Everyone's known it's only you and I. Looks like we'll be staying up all night. Time to play what you say, I'm here for you. I'm working overtime. I'm more than...
Ooh, that made me a lot sweatier than I thought I could ever get doing that. Like, I'm honestly a bit embarrassed. Anyway, it's all up there. It was a big game of paper Tetris. I really enjoyed the process. I'm super happy with all the Whimsyween inspiration that's up there. I think it's a really great start. Like I said, the mood board kind of ever changes and evolves, so I don't marry anything to the position it is in there. Like the little paper faces, I will probably take those off instantly and start using those probably even before Whimsyween, to be honest. This is the stuff that I didn't end up putting up there. One sticker sheet because I forgot. The big paper faces because this was a big one and I had the little ones up there. I didn't end up putting the macaron up there because it just didn't seem to go when I put it up there. I don't know, I was feeling really bad about it and I thought, no, I'm not putting it up there if I don't want to put it up there. And this, because I used some ink that is super fugitive and if it sits out in the sunlight for too long, it will all disappear. That's what happens to bright pink. It's a shame because it's so fun. I've just dropped everything today. But I'm not gonna, I don't want to risk it all fading on myself because it is something that I do really enjoy and I want to keep it kind of preserved. So I'll stick that in a journal and say goodnight to that. The mood board, like I said, will change over time, but I'm really happy with where the inspiration is. I kind of go through the same process of pulling inspiration like we looked at in the Disney concept art coffee table books. The same thing, except I won't go through a book to find it, I'll look over to my wall to find it. Now there is something to be said for putting stuff on display. It's great to have access to a lot of inspiration, but sometimes you don't want to look at a computer screen anymore. Sometimes you don't want to get out 7 stacks of books to be inspired by one particular thing. So having a big display like this is super helpful for it all to sink into your subconscious and really kind of just set it in there. You don't really have to find inspiration if you've got it all there. So I'm just gonna leave you with that tip. If you really want to be taken with something and inspired by something and let it really sink in there, possibly put some of your stuff on display. I'm not saying you need a mood board, but print it out, put it at your desk, have a little cheat sheet, put it in a frame, you know, whatever you want to be inspired by, surround yourself by it, because you will pick up on it, your eyes will see it, it'll all sit in the back there, and before you know it, you'll be pulling inspiration from there without even having to think about it. If you want to grab this frame, I will leave a link down below. It's from IKEA. I say it's a mood board, but it is a frame. I put it up on my Instagram early last year, and I've changed it a bunch of times, so if you want to go and see its evolution, just scroll through the Instagram feed, but I'll put a link down below. I think it was 15 bucks, and it came with all the little gold clips, so it is a super great thing to have if you have a little home craft space, a little office, a little studio, whatever you have. Honestly, it's been really key and helpful in these processes where I want to get super inspired by something and just have stuff on display. If you're proud of something, you should put it out on display. If you want to learn from something, put it out on display. If you just want something on display, put it out on display. I don't know, whatever you want to put out there, this is a great and easy and affordable way to do it. So I'll put the link down below, and you can check that out. Other than that, I'm going to fight the urge to start working on WHIMSYWEEN stuff until I've finished all the stuff I needed to do for August. I'll be back with you next month in kind of the same vein to talk about Inktober and get all my ideas and inspiration out for that and see where we can take that. If you are inspired to piece together your mood board or your collection of items that are going to inspire you through WHIMSYWEEN, please post it for me in the Facebook group. I would love to check it out, or post it in Patreon if you can do that. I'm still not even sure if you can post photos in Patreon as a patron. I know I can, but I don't know if you guys can. Either way, I would love to see what inspires you and the direction that you're going to head through Halloween. Okay, I've talked so much. I think I'm about to lose my voice. I'll leave you there. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.